Hi, everybody. Who are we missing?
Okay, so we do have enough for quorum now, so we can begin. So I will call this meeting to order at 2:01 p.m. and I will start by reading the land acknowledgement. The city of Thorold is situated on treaty land. This land is steeped in the rich history of the First Nations, such as the Hattaway-Darronk and the Haudenosaunee and the Anishinaabe, including the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. There are many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people from across Turtle Island that live and work in Niagara today. The city of Thorold stands with all Indigenous people, past and present, in promoting the wise stewardship of the lands on which we live. Are there any declarations of interest today? Okay, can I get a mover and a seconder to adopt the agenda? Moved by Councillor O'Hare, and can I have a seconded by Joey? All those in favor? Sorry, all those in favor, you can just raise your hand or put your little hand emoji up. Okay, and all those opposed? That was carried. And so now can I get a mover and a seconder to adopt the minutes from July 13th, 2022? Moved by Councillor O'Hare. And seconded by Leslie. I will call a question. All those in favor of adopting the minutes from July 13th, 2022? Okay, and all those opposed? That was carried. So we'll move to item 6, which is introductions. So we will go around the room. Please say your name and why you wanted to join the age-friendly committee. Councillor O'Hare, would you like to begin?
Okay. All right. Hello, everyone. Some of you know me. I've met a lot of you, but not everyone. So my name is Tim O'Hare. I'm a newly elected councillor to Thorold. I live on Ormond Street, right downtown. I am a strong believer in supporting all communities within Thorold, and particularly with emphasis on the age-friendly. I hope that I can be a very involved, active member of this committee and help out in any way I can.
Thank you. Joey, would you like to go next?
Hi, my name's Joey Hewitt. I've been on Age Friendly from the last term, and I'm hoping we can have just as and successful term this upcoming term. We accomplished a lot with a lot of hard work, and I'm looking forward to this term to exceeding what we've done in the past.
Thank you. Jean?
I've been on Age Friendly for 8 years. I started, I was on the inaugural committee, and I think we've had great committees in the past. I'm also on the Age Friendly Niagara Council, and I'm also a member of the Niagara Older Adult Alliance. So that's it.
Thank you. Leslie?
I was on the last Age Friendly committee, and I really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to working with Jean again, and Joey, and anyone new that we can bring on board. I feel like Joey that we accomplished a lot through the hard work of the committee members with Jean's leadership. So I'm looking forward to the next 4 years.
Thank you. Lori and Dave, would you like to make your introduction?
Hi there, I'm Lori Hughes, currently the treasurer at the Thorold Senior Center. Can you see us okay? Because our video looks to be really weird.
We can see you, however, the video is kind of cutting in and out a little bit.
Yeah, same with ours, so I'm not sure why. But anyway, so I have not been on the Age Friendly Committee at all. And I'm happy to represent the Thorold Senior Center as one member attending this committee. Dave.
Yep.
Introduce yourself.
Dave Hanley here from Little Seniors.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah.
Stephanie, would you like to make an introduction with what your role is?
Sure. Sorry, my computer is a little slow today. I'm Stephanie. I'm the program supervisor for community services. So I've been appointed to the staff liaison for Age Friendly. I haven't worked with Age Friendly as their staff liaison previously, but I have worked on a number of other committees with a few of you, including Parks and Recreation and our special events committee. So I'm looking forward to learning more about the committee and in supporting you guys through this year. And yeah, it should be a good year, hopefully.
Thank you. And for those who don't know me, my name is Sydney. I work for the clerk's department as the legislative assistant. I will be attending all the meetings and taking the minutes, and I will also be helping to make and circulate the agenda. Matthew, would you like to make your introduction?
Sure. Thank you, Sydney. I'm Matthew Trenham. I'm the city clerk here at the City of Thorold. You may see me from time to time in these meetings just as support for Sydney or as need be. But I work with council and the committees of council and support the clerk's office team here at City Hall.
Perfect. Thank you. So we will now move to item 7, which is selection of the chair and vice chair. So I will now call for nominations for the chair. I will need a mover and a seconder for each nomination. Joey?
I would like to nominate Jean for our chair for next term.
Okay, is there a second? Seconded by Leslie. Jean, do you accept your nomination?
Yes.
Okay, I will call a second and a third time for nominations for the chair. Can I get a mover and a seconder to close the nominations for committee chair? Moved by Councillor O'Hare and seconded by Leslie. So I'll call the question. All those in favor of closing nominations for committee chair? Right, and those opposed? That was carried. So with there being only one nominee, please join me in congratulating committee chair Jean. Congratulations. So I will now call for nominations for the vice chair. Jean?
I will nominate Joey.
I'm sorry, I have to decline.
Okay.
Jean?
Leslie, would you accept it?
Okay.
Sure.
Okay, great.
Okay, is there a seconder for Leslie's nomination? Seconded by Councillor O'Hare. I will call a second and third time for nominations for committee vice chair. Can I get a mover and a seconder to close nominations for committee vice chair? Moved by Councillor O'Hare, seconded by Joey. I will call the question. All those in favor of closing nominations for vice chair? Okay, all those opposed? That was carried. So there being only one nominee, please join me in congratulating Vice Chair Leslie. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Jean, if you would like, you can chair for the remainder of the meeting. I will send you an email which has the script, which is a rough outline you can follow to guide you through the rest of the meeting. So I'll just send that in one moment.
I guess the next item is, it's more for the new members. You've got the World Health Organization, 8 dimensions of an age-friendly community, encourages active aging by optimizing opportunities for health, participation, security in order to enhance quality of life as people age. So it's important that when we finalize whatever we are doing for the year, that we try to incorporate our activities, what we're doing with these 8 dimensions of healthy aging. And I used to have this at every attached to every agenda so that we could see it, and we could remind ourselves continually that these are the 8 dimensions. And I think they're pretty simple: transportation, housing, social participation, respect and social inclusion, civic participation. I'm sorry, I can't, it's not printing well. Communications and information, I can't read that one, but anyway, you probably can read it. It's printing. So let's go always back to these and keep these in mind, whatever we do. Some of you have seen this 100 times, some of you have not. Any questions? Sorry, Counselor?
Thank you, Jean. Where can I get a copy of that?
It was part of the package. And also, if you want more information on it, I could send you it also after the meeting. And if you want more information on it, you go World Health Organization and Age-Friendly Community. And there's actually a ton of information on it, but I'll be glad to send you the one pager.
Let me just ask, Sydney, was that sent out with the original package? I don't seem to see it.
The
link wasn't working for the first link that you sent out. If you tried it today, it's not working. You don't get anything other than the agenda.
Through
To look at.
Through Madam Chair, it is posted in the full agenda, which is on the City of Thorold website.
Okay.
In order to get there,
I
you go
tried,
to-
I couldn't get on there either.
Yeah, so if you go to City Council or City Hall and then go to Council Agendas and Minutes, and then you can scroll down to Age-Friendly, and there should be an option Agenda, HDMI, Agenda PDF, and it should be on there.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, are there any other questions related to that? Okay, so I guess, but I'll send it to you, Tim, okay?
Thank you.
Okay, committee business, work plan, goals for the term. Does anybody have any things that they would like to advance in this term? Anything new that we like to do? Any ideas, Joey?
This isn't new, Jean, but the minutes from our last meeting back in July, we had discussed about a street sign motion. And it was, sorry, I'm just reading from the minutes, that staff be directed to prepare a report respecting the implications of the recommendation to increase the font size on new and replacement municipal street signs. So I would like to continue pursuing that. That's been an ongoing situation for the last 4 years, and it still has not been addressed.
Okay, do we need a motion to have that, since that was in our last minute, do we need a motion to say that we want this, we want to reply to that, or we want that motion reinstated for this committee? Or is it going to be done automatically? No, let's have something in the minutes. Then it'll be, it's a new committee. Let's have something in the minutes. So what was the motion in the, what was the exact wording in the minutes?
Actually, the minutes said Jay Goulet advised the motion was received and passed by council on July 12th, 22, and reads as follows. So I
Okay,
don't know.
right there. So it's item 5.6C, right?
Correct.
So is there a motion? Can we have a motion that item 5.6C in the minutes of July 13, 2022 be supported by this committee, and that a report be prepared as per the motion in 5.6C. So it brings that forward.
Right, because I have to assume this was done by the past council, so I guess it has to be brought to light for the new council to have it actually looked at.
Okay, Matthew? And then Lori.
Yep. Thank you, Madam Chair. I would agree, putting a motion forward just to put it back on the radar. This would have been something that would have landed on the Public Works Department to-do list as a report that they required. And my assumption is it's just sort of lost in their items. So I think it would be reasonable for the committee to just put forward a reminder that this was requested and has yet to be received, and request that the report be directed specifically to this committee before it go anywhere else.
Thank you.
Okay, so do we need a mover and a seconder for that, Matthew? Okay, who would move? Joey, you want to move it?
Yes,
And okay, I need a clarification. Do council I'm fine either way with this. Do councilors, can they move motions? They can? Perfect. Tim, I saw your hand up. Perfect. All in favor?
I don't vote there. It's
Okay.
only-
There's
it's only
two of
her
us.
name.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize, Lori. Lori?
Matthew said exactly what I was thinking, so.
Okay. Okay, I apologize. Okay. So thank you for bringing that forward, Joey. I really appreciate that. Okay. I did, and I don't know how many of you have it. If you can't, maybe we can talk generally about this. Some of the things we did in the past, we have to, are we going to come up with a budget like we have in prior years? Are we expected to do that? I don't know. I haven't received any. Well, obviously we haven't, because we just started. But are we expected to come up with a budget? Can anybody answer that question for me? Matthew?
Yep. Yep. Thank you, Madam Chair. If you actually look on your the agenda that was published under events calendar, which is the second item of committee business, there is a proposed list of events that does put forward the use of an approximate budget. Now, the city budget has been approved at this point, but I don't know, and I'll pass it on to Stephanie if she has anything to add, if the allocations to each individual committee have been set at this point or not. But I believe she put together the draft budget, so I'm going to assume it is in line with what the committee has for this particular calendar year. So assuming that council or that the committee agrees with this draft budget, once council approves that, then you have the approval to go through and start spending based on what's in here. What I would advise is that if there are additions to this or changes to the budget itself, those changes do need to be approved by council.
I'm sorry, if you're talking about the submission that I put, revised 2023 budget, that wasn't a draft budget. That was just an item for discussion today, because we are nowhere. I don't think today we're anywhere near being ready to do our events. This is our first meeting. This was just put as a discussion for today.
Yeah, and that's what my assumption was as well, that you would take that to have a discussion to see if you need to add anything or change your request as to what you'd be looking for from council. If you're not ready for it to go to council at this point, absolutely, that's reasonable. But once you do have that finalized budget as to what the committee recommends, this is what we're asking for and our plan on how to spend it, that will go to council for approval.
Okay, well, this is a draft not to go to council because it's not finalized, and it won't be finalized today, because I think we as a committee have to think about what we want to do next year. Okay, I have put a few things in here, and I'll talk about some of them, but I'm looking for input on the budget, okay? This was just to show you some of the things we've done in the past, and to some of the things we've done in the past, and also to generate some ideas about what we can do. One of the things I included, I hope this one will stay. Maybe we can at least agree on some of the things that should stay and then leave. Our budget is usually $3,000. So I'm one of the things that I'm hoping we can do is host a Niagara Older Adult Alliance meeting. Many times we've done it at the senior center, and we usually cooperate with the senior center to do it. And I hope that it happens usually in June or early September. Several of you have been to these meetings, and basically they're a sharing of information among all of the, we have representatives. We usually have the chair and the vice chair, and if other members want to attend, they attend. And we try to get the council rep, and we try to get the a city rep to come to these meetings. And we share information about what's going on in the region. And and we try to rotate these meetings. So sometimes, you know, it'll be, let's say, in Thorold, but another time we've been to Smithville, we've been to Pelham. So I would like that item to stand. Okay, as I said, we're not going to finish the budget today because I'm looking for ideas, but this one I would like to stand. Are there any people opposed to that item standing or want further clarification on that item? So we're okay with that one? I don't think we need motions. I think just a simple, okay. I'll go faster. The free swim and movie, it was a family, it was a grandparent swim. The kids couldn't come by themselves. It was a family swim. I think budgeting $1,000 is possibly too much because that's a third of our budget. But I'm wondering if and it was successful last year. I wouldn't do the movie in the pool again, but it was successful. It was fun. We worked with Stephanie to make it happen. And if the city could come up with some money, also it'll cost more than $500, I think. If the city could come up with some money, I think that would be a continue to have a nice event. Okay, maybe Stephanie.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, if you want to put a motion forward for me to research a budget for the event, I can. I don't think $500 will be enough for it, unfortunately, depending on what the nature of the event is. So last year, for example, I think we were around $900 mark for the event, just because the screen rental is about $700, and then there was snacks and there were the fees for the lifeguards and those allocations. So if you want to put a motion forward for me to put a budget together for what that would cost for the pool rental and everything else, we certainly can. The other piece of it is we do have a new process for submitting events for consideration. So I can run you through that separate from the meeting, but there is going to be an online application for the chair to complete. And then once you complete that application for that event to move forward, it'll be brought to the special events committee for recommendation to council for approval. So we can run through that together separately if you want from this meeting. This is just like a brief overview of what the process is. But that's essentially how it'll work moving forward for any events that are going to take place that are going to be considered municipal events. So happening on city properties or using municipal resources.
Okay, can we have them, because we can decide, I don't know if anybody was here. We had it the last week. Oh, sorry, I'm sorry, Lori.
Okay, yeah, I just had a question. I'm looking at the sheet here for 2022, the second item for free swim movie and summer activities like bocce.
Yeah.
That was for 2022. For 2023, it just lists free swim / movie, nothing about the extra activities. Is that the 500 or 450 difference to make up $3,000?
No, we didn't do any other summer activities or bocce last year.
Oh, okay. All right.
And I think bocce bocce is a lot of work because that field is not maintained by the city.
Yeah.
Okay.
There
is the difference in 2023. It doesn't add up to 3,000. So
no,
450 is what? Just like a gap for overruns, or?
This is just this was just drawn up to start the thinking process. Okay.
Okay.
It wasn't. It's not a final budget. I just put some things together to start a few things thinking. So especially since we're all new, I just put this. Okay, is there at least support for the swim and movie. What I would recommend is we had the movie in the pool area, and I wouldn't recommend that again. There was no reason to have it in the pool area. You can't show the movie until 9 o'clock or so, 9:15. It was pointless to have it in the movie, it was pointless to have it in the pool. So, because then the lifeguards had to stay and all that. I think that was pointless. So the movie would go from 7 to 9, and then we tell everybody to bring their chairs, blankets, etc., and we'd have the movie in the field beside the pool. And I think that would simplify things and save some of the cost, because there was no reason why the lifeguards had to stay. So can we have a motion to get Stephanie to at least get a cost on that, without the lifeguards, just the swim from 7 to 9, and then the movie would be in the field area, and what the city might be, because you have a special events fund, what the city might kick in. Can we partner on that instead of bearing the full cost?
So just to clarify, there's no extra fund for special events that we can pull from. So if you want to ask for additional funds for the event, it would just be a request for funds from council to have that included. Not to say that that can't happen. It would just be an additional fund request, because we don't have a separate budget for, we do for community grants. If there was an organization like TCAG who wanted to apply for community grants, that might be a possibility, but there's no fund specifically for special events.
Okay, we could also put it on our budget, and if it exceeds the budget limit that we usually have, then they can approve it or not approve it, right?
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
So we'll do that, but we need some numbers before we can make a decision, I think, unless somebody is totally opposed to not even considering the swim. If somebody's totally opposed, we won't let Stephanie do that work. Joey?
I'm absolutely all for it, because it's such a successful event, and the idea is it is bringing together different age groups, and that's part of our mandate. So I would like to make the motion to have Stephanie pursue an idea of what the cost might be for 2023.
Okay, do I have a seconder? Okay, Leslie? All in favor? Okay, that's why we can't pass the budget. We're just going to, we're just talking out loud. So we can get a final budget maybe at the next meeting, or at the latest, the meeting after that. These events we have every year, and I hope you'll support them. June is Seniors Month, and we always have events in June to support Seniors Month. I've got just $150 in there for some kind of event that we might do, partner with just, I don't know what the event is, but just to put some money there for some other event during that month, so we can do it to recognize Seniors Month. And then Senior of the Year, we've done this. I haven't. Okay. Senior of the Year, we do this every year. We always recognize a Senior of the Year. And then Lori and Dave, I want to know if the committee supports having a Thorold Seniors, like we did last year. We had Bev Smith, a Thorold Senior Citizens Association Senior of the Year. Is the association still supportive of having a Thorold Seniors Association Senior of the Year?
Yep, we do.
Okay. I have included the forms there that we used last year and the criteria. I don't know, is that on the, did that get put on the agenda? Yes. Okay, that's the next agenda item. So so those two items, something for the June month of 150, can we accept that? And Senior of the Year. we always have cake and we always give the senior center some money for coffee and stuff for the event. And it's a nice little event. It usually happens on a Wednesday. It usually happens at 11:30. We have the mayors, the MP, the MPP, regional councillor, the Thorold Senior Citizens Association president there. And there's one more, and memory doesn't serve me. And they all present plaques to the two recipients. And we also have the nominees, whoever nominated them, give a little brief overview of the accomplishments of the two nominees. It's a real nice event. It usually goes from 11:30, roughly it's about an hour. It doesn't interfere with the Senior Citizen Center's activities and we do it on a Wednesday because the ladies have exercise class, which is well attended at the senior center. And then a lot of them just stay, have their cake, coffee, and it ends up being a nice event at the Senior Citizen Center. And it doesn't affect the afternoon events.
Hey,
Laura?
Jean,
Yeah,
the date you have listed here, June 1st, is a Thursday.
or is that on my form here? It's June 15th. Should be June 15th. It was 14th last year. It's usually we do it in the middle of the month.
That's a Thursday as well. June 15th, so you want to change that? Last year it was June 15th. This year, June 14th would be the Wednesday.
Okay, it's June, yeah, it would be June 14th. And I want and Lori, that's okay with the Senior Citizen Center, is that correct? Lori?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so the
June
date
14th is, oh no, that's okay. Yep, works good.
works good. Okay, so those two items are confirmed. Is everybody in agreement or any objections? Okay, I'm sorry, I just am explaining things a little bit more than I normally would because that we have some new people. So, okay, each year we give a novelty item. We either give it out in June or we give it out in September. We give it out at the Senior Citizen Center. We have had shoe bags. I don't know what the novelty item. We have shoe bags. We have had shoe horns. What else have we had, ladies?
Grabber stick.
Grabber stick. It's always a big hit. We've done it every year for a while. I don't know what the novelty item would be. I was looking for suggestions. If anybody's got suggestions at this meeting, I'm interested to hear about it. If not, are you in agreement to keep it as a budget item and we'll figure something out in the next month or so?
Yeah.
Is everybody okay with that?
Mhm.
Because it was always successful. Okay. Okay, I put $500 and maybe that one I'll increase. I'm looking for us to partner with partners, doing something with the TCAG, the horticulture, Leslie's group, the senior center, some event that promotes one of these, one of our key pillars. Oh, we've done housing forums in the past. Transportation is a big thing right now because we've got a new transit system in place and things. Social isolation is a big thing. You know, maybe working on, and I'm looking for ideas, but I put it in a general category, hoping that we can partner, and part of us, our goal is to partner with other groups. You know, Leslie, I don't know if we can sponsor, you always have your horticultural event. Was it when is it?
It's, I just finished doing this. June, a Saturday in June.
Yeah, maybe we can partner with having the seniors' best garden or something and give a small, you know, something like that. Just thinking, it's too early for us to, but hopefully meeting. I know there may be opportunities with the TCAG to do some partnering, and I voiced that I'd like to see that. They've got the possibility of getting a grant, and Megan, the new director, is quite supportive of us doing some kind of event together with possibly the library also. So that's what that is. It's just general. We don't have an idea right now. I want you to think about it. Do you think that's a good idea? Leslie?
One of the things that we're gonna do in May is decorate the library window.
Okay.
If you have flyers or things that you would like to put in there with us, that would be, you could put your rack cards and all sorts of stuff in there at the same time.
Lori?
we were thinking about the Christmas parade and doing something there to kind of get involved and, get out there. So that might be an opportunity to partner up.
And also, Lori, we might be able to partner up with your Halloween, because that was grandparents and kids, wasn't it?
Well, it was all age groups, but that's a good idea too. Our October Pumpkin Fest. We had, for the first time, we ran one this past October, and it wasn't a huge money maker, but we had a lot of people come out from the community, and we had a bunch of kids. And so it was really good. We had all ages. So it turned out really good, and we're really keen on doing it again.
Yeah.
And maybe, like, those are the kinds of things maybe we can partner. Now, exactly how we're going to partner, but that's what I'm looking for more partnership things. Does that sound reasonable or something that we can pursue?
Yes, that would be great. I think there's opportunities there for sure.
Okay, I'm gonna leave the $500. I'm gonna put a big question mark, because I think if we increase our budget so we get our $3,000, that would be the area that might be a good place to put the extra money, because we're trying to be with various we're trying to work with various partners in the community. I think that, and it leaves it a little bit open, so that we can think about things as they come along, and we can think about things sooner than later too, because we have to plan. But that's an area where I think it could go from to $1,000, because I think we might be able to use that money and partner and have a number of things in a partnering opportunity. So is it okay for now if we increase it to $1,000? As I said, this is just a thinking budget. It's not a final budget. We're going to revisit this next month, and hopefully we can come up with more of a final budget. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
Any objections?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is another thing that we've always done. And this is the Christmas luncheon. We were supposed to have a wonderful speaker at the Christmas luncheon, and we were going to pay $200 for it. And the senior center was going to pay $200 for it. And unfortunately, the speaker got sick. He was a wonderful speaker, and he couldn't make it. And then we got a replacement speaker, and he got COVID just before he was supposed to come to lunch. So that's the best laid plans of mice and men, if anybody's read that. But we've always budgeted. And again, I don't want to say always. If you think this is it's time to change things up, but it's always been well received at the Senior Citizen Center to do something special for the Christmas luncheon. It's always a very well attended luncheon. It's always a nice luncheon. It's always turkey and stuff. And I would like to keep that unless people feel that we should be doing something else. Whether it's Joey?
I think it's a great idea because it's very well attended, and maybe if we try now early in the year, we could book William Thomas again.
Yeah, that would be nice if we could do it. Maybe I'll approach him again. He had cancer, and he was actually going overseas for treatments. So yeah, he would have been wonderful. I've heard him speak. He's wonderful. Okay, maybe we'll pursue that as a first choice if we can get them. Sorry, Tim? No, you're on mute.
Mute.
You're on mute. Tim?
Okay, Sydney, you can laugh at me because it has happened so many times to
It's
be on
okay.
mute. Okay, so as I haven't been to this event in the past, I'm just curious about funding. Is it funded fully from our budget, or is there a price for the meal? How does that work?
No, the only thing we would fund would be the speaker or something like that, or join. The whole luncheon is paid for by, you pay for your luncheon. And I think, did you I don't know if they subsidized it a little bit this year, the senior center did. We don't have anything to do with the luncheon. It would just be towards a guest speaker.
Okay, thank you.
And Lori, would the center, if we budgeted the $200 and it was more, would you go up to the other $200 like we were going to go last year?
Yes, we would. Yeah.
That's all. We don't have anything to do with the luncheon. The luncheon is totally coordinated by the center and you have to pay to go to the luncheon.
Yes, that's right. Yep.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah, the only thing we had, we put in 200 for the speaker. So I think the speaker was 400.
yeah.
Yeah, we're happy to do that. And like you said, it's a really big turnout and we have good response from our members. So it's a big one.
Yeah. Anybody else? Okay, so we've got the 200. Okay. Does everybody remember our rack cards? I might have one here. I'm sorry, I do have one in a folder. Just give me 1 second. I have one in here. I got it. We have we had a rack card. These were well received. These went all in, they went in the water bills. The only problem, the glitch was there's a lot of people that don't get water bills because they don't have water or they get electronic bills, so they didn't get them. These were very successful. They have all of the city numbers on the front. City Hall, Public Works, Niagara Region Police, Thorold Fire, Thorold Arenas, Thorold Community Activities Group, Thorold Library, Thorold Senior Center, and then on the front of it, it has all the 211 numbers, 211, 411, 511, 911, and it's got City Hall. And they were well received. I've got about, and when I went to the info fair at the TCAG this week, I did bring them and I did give them up. We don't have I have maybe about, if I have 50, and I'm optional, I have about 50. If we wanted to do 1,000 is the limit to get this quality, and they'll cost about $200 to do 1,000 so that we can use them in the next 4 years at different info fairs. We can even leave some at the library. The library is a great place where people pick these things up. Is there any desire to maybe print 1,000 so we can have them for various events and maybe give some out at the library? We've done the water bills and that. We're not going to do it. We tried to do the mailing and that seemed to go nowhere. I don't know if we're going to solve that problem, but just to have them on hand. Any idea to do, Joey?
I think it's a good idea. For instance, at the end of my road on the west side of the canal on Port Robinson Road, there's 3,600 houses there with a lot of young families. And maybe just to blanket new subdivisions, because a lot of these people are coming from out of the area too. They're not really that familiar with what Thorold has or is.
Yeah, that might be an idea if we could just maybe target a specific area. Stephanie, you're on mute.
I was just going to say, I think it would be really good if we brought Megan, our community, why can't I think of her title right now, but she's our communications specialist, more or less. I think it'd be a good idea to bring her in because she can help. There might be a project like this already underway, or she might be able to help support this, and she definitely would want to help guide any of the graphics and things like that. So I would suggest maybe we can invite her to the next meeting so that she can kind of give some input into this type of project or this type of goal for the committee, if that helps at all.
I'm not recommending that we change it. I can bring this up at the next meeting and show you exactly what it looks like. I'm not recommending that we change our old one, or I'll send it out and we can discuss it at the next meeting. But it's already graphically set up. But we can have it on agenda for the next meeting just to see if there's a phone number we should add or something. There's not really room to do that. Sorry, Laurie?
Just wondering the cost. You've got on the sheet here 1,000 rack cards, $50.
No,
But you
it's
said
$200. I checked with Print 3 downtown has done it for us. He's got it all.
Okay.
And if we want exactly the same card, the minimum is $1,000. Is 1,000 copies, and it's about $186. He's
Okay, all right, good,
quoted
thanks.
me.
Thanks
And
for.
I can bring this up for the next, I can put it in the draft budget, and I can bring this up at the next meeting so you guys can see exactly what the card looks like, because he did send me an electronic version. So I do have an electronic version. We can leave a few at the Senior Citizen Center. We could library. Joey's suggestion is a good one. We can also, if they do something in Port Robinson, they always have, maybe we can bring some there that they can hand out in that area too.
For the Port Robinson Community Center.
Yeah,
Big, nice, yeah.
yeah. So are we good? At least in the draft budget, nobody's going to go out and spend this money tomorrow. We're going to revisit these things, okay? But for the draft budget, 1,000 rack cards for $200 does that seem reasonable to people? Is that something we should at least put it in the draft budget? I don't hear any objections, so it's in the draft budget. If everybody sleeps overnight and thinks this is a bad idea, we can take it out at the next meeting, okay? And I think we should be putting something in there for if everybody remembered, we had an age-friendly business guide. Tim, we'll try to get one to you. I have a couple left, okay? It was really good. And we were trying to promote Thorold age-friendly businesses, and there was criteria. Joey was on the committee that helped develop the criteria. It would be nice if we can't 100% fully implement this year, it would be nice if we started to think about it. We actually gave them stickers. If they met they had to fill out a form, and if they met the criteria to be an age-friendly community, we actually gave them stickers. And we were supposed to have a renewal sticker. I can't remember if it was every year, every 2 years. And then COVID hit and all of that. It was really good, and all of that fell apart. And I know if you go to this, Tim?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to mention that I'm heading to Port Robinson on Monday, I believe, for the spaghetti dinner. So if you would like me to take some of the existing rack cards up there with me, I can arrange to pick some up, or we do it at a later time, but I just thought I'd offer.
Okay. I do have a few. I have maybe 50. I do have a few. So if you want, we can. I can drop some off to you.
Or I can swing by.
We'll figure it out. Or I can drop them off at City Hall, and then you can get them from there if you want to take 20, 30 of them there.
Perfect.
But that's all I have left. I only have, as I said, maybe I have 50. Okay, I'll drop some off at City Hall. I'll leave them with, can I leave them with Nadine? In an envelope, I'll leave them with Nadine in an envelope with your name on it. Okay, I'll do that tomorrow. When's the spaghetti luncheon or dinner?
I believe Monday.
Monday, okay, then I have to do it today or tomorrow. Okay.
I can also swing by if you like, to pick them up, whatever works. I'm on Ormond Street, by the way.
Okay, we'll talk later.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
Okay. All right, so the rack cards are in there, and now age-friendly business promotion. Should we be putting something in the budget so that we can try to resurrect this, if not fully this year, because we really have to revisit the guides and everything and I would think if we're going to do this, we'd have to redo the guides, we'd have to reintroduce it. But, or should we just not put anything in there and just think about the process of revitalizing this for next year? I don't know. Any opinions? Joey?
I think it'd be a good idea maybe next year for revitalization. The AODA regulations come into effect 2025, so we're only 2 years away.
Okay,
And we like to make sure businesses are aware of that so they can budget now and not all of a sudden 2025's here and they're looking at fines because they didn't comply. I think it's important that we revisit it.
okay. So you're saying not to put a budget item, but to maybe relook at the guide, we look at the program, we look at the sheets, get that kind of paperwork stuff out of the way.
Right,
So that maybe next year we can look at redoing the guide or consider redoing the guide. Nothing here is etched in stone. Consider redoing the guide, etc. Right?
right.
Okay, so so it's not to put because we'd have to launch it all over again. Now people won't know what we're talking about, and we really would have to redo the guide, or at least publish some more. So we'll have it as we'll talk about it, and we'll talk about the guide and the paperwork and all that, but we won't actually put a budget item for it for this year. Is that fair? Because
Sure.
it's going to be a little bit of a work to redo. Well, it might not be too much work, but I don't, because we have the guide, a lot of it won't change, but we definitely have to revisit the guide and read it and etc. Okay, so we won't put a budget item. Okay, so I'll revise this. We'll have a question mark for the swim because we'll wait on Stephanie. We'll put $1,000 for the partnering events and it says Horticultural Library Senior Center, but it could be other partners. I just do those there. And we'll put $200 for the rack card. So we'll revise this for the next meeting. And I'm looking for other ideas. I'm looking for new ideas. Now that you can see what our events are, what our dimensions are, I'm looking for some new ideas when we finalize this budget, some new ideas to add to it. So can you think about it? And that's one of the nice things about having a NOAA meeting is you get to hear what the other cities are doing. And when you get to hear what the other cities are doing, it gives us ideas for us. So I do have something that I'd like NOAA to consider, probably not this year. You know how we did our calendar last year? I'd like us to do a regional calendar where we all take 1 month and have a regional calendar. And I'd also like them to think about, again, not this year, probably next year, hosting a major event. I don't know how many of you were here when we hosted, we did a number of important topics. I just thought of another thing, but I won't bring it up right now. A number of important speakers at a forum, and the guest speaker was Hazel McCallion. And that event was absolutely phenomenal for the people who attended it. I think Joey was there. Were you, Joey?
Yes.
I know, Leslie, you were there, weren't you?
No,
You weren't there, Joey was. It was a good event with Hazel, wasn't it?
It was, and it was at Amici's, I think, wasn't it?
Was that at Michi's? Yeah. And,
Yeah.
and 3 cities hosted it, Thorold, Pelham, and Welland.
Hazel could have gone on all night talking. No one was leaving. Everyone was very rapt attention. It was an excellent event.
Yeah. And then there was, before her, there were some very good speakers on various adult topics that really pertain to older adults. But that would have to be a joint event. It would be very hard to do something of that caliber without other municipalities participating. So those are the kinds of things to look at in the future. So can we leave the discussions for now and revisit them at the next meeting. Is that okay? Oh, Sydney?
Through you, Mrs. Chair. Just one comment about the work plan is we've discussed some events, but the work plan can also be used for goals throughout the term that do not include events that go towards the committee's mandate. So for example, different committees have education focuses or they'd like to raise awareness on a specific issue. So possible if there's anything like that we can add to the work plan that anyone has ideas of, that would be great.
Okay, again, and that would be part in relationship to the 8 dimensions. Okay, can we stop this discussion and revisit it for the next meeting when everybody can think about some other things and educational events? Oh, Matthew?
Yeah, I would agree with that, actually. If we have a look at the mandate on the terms of reference posted to the committee, look at those 8 priorities as well, and thinking long-term for your work plan. This is over the 4 years for the committee. What are some of the things that you're looking to achieve in accordance with that work plan? And then we can bring that discussion to the next meeting to set something in, at least a solid draft of that.
Okay, so this agenda item is finished unless somebody wants to pursue it any further. Okay, our next agenda is Senior of the Year Awards. I attached the criteria. I just changed the dates and hopefully I've changed all the dates because I always screw something up. So the first, and this was attached for the people who could get the full minutes, the 2023 Thorold Senior of the Year Award. The criteria, this is the Thorold Senior Citizens of the Year. It's somebody in the community. Eligibility, I'll just read the criteria. Eligibility criteria for the 2 words. To be eligible for a 2023 Senior of the Year Award, the senior must be 60 years or older, has contributed to the enrichment of the social, cultural, and civic life of Thorold community, has made this commitment without personal or financial gain, is not a previous recipient of the award, and is a resident of Thorold. This one, you have to be a resident of Thorold. And you cannot nominate yourself, someone who passed away, someone who currently holds political office, or an individual cannot be nominated for achievements related to a current or past political appointment. And the nominations would go from March 2nd to May 1st. And important dates, March 2nd would be nominations open. May 1st is the deadline for nominations, and we'll have a little committee if we get more than one submission to review the nominations. And the event would be Wednesday, June 14th, ceremony at the Ontario Paper Thorold Seniors Association at 11:30. So that's, sorry, and Joey?
How do we advertise this to get word out to the public? Can it go on the Thorold website?
I'll work with Megan on that. Megan, she already did something last year for her. It'd be dittos to that. So Megan would help us. We'll advertise it at the senior center. So that, I don't think advertising is a problem.
Good.
She issues a news release. And then, yeah, Megan's really good. We've worked with her and she's wonderful. And then, oh, and I don't have the one for the thoughts. Oh, and there's a nomination form. It's 1 page for both of them. Okay. For some reason, the other one I don't have with me right here, but the other for the Thorold Senior Citizens Association, it has to be, the age is different. Is it 50, Lori? Oh wait. The age is whatever the age of the center is. I can't
Yeah,
remember.
50. We're 50 here.
Yeah, and it's someone who has specifically contributed the social, cultural, the social, I think, and cultural to the community at the senior center. Someone who has not made it without personal or financial gain, and not a previous recipient, And that person doesn't have to be a citizen, a resident of Thorold. And the reason is because membership at the Senior Citizen Center is open to people outside Thorold. So there's no restriction for it to be a resident of Thorold. Like Laura Very was the one that got it last year. She was the former president. She lives in St. Catharines.
Jane, can we get a list? Like, how far back does your previous recipients list go?
Well, we only started the Thorold Senior one, the Thorold Senior Citizens one, 2 years ago. The Thorold, the one that is the citywide one has been going on, I think, for a long time. I can't remember if it's 8 years or since we started or shortly after we started. But the Thorold Senior Citizens Association one has only been going on 2 years. And the first recipient was Laura and the second recipient was Bev. So those are the only two recipients that there are, Lori.
Okay, thank you.
So we're all in agreement that we're going to proceed with those two awards. We'll work with the Senior Citizens Center on them. We'll work with Megan to get it out to the public, and we'll have the nomination forms available in various, for sure at City Hall, and for sure at the Thorold Senior Citizens Association. Possibly we can have them available at the library too, because there's a lot of older adults at the library. But is that okay? So that agenda item, we're going to proceed with that. Okay, I'm not going to have a motion if I think there's agreement that we're going to continue this. Okay, and committee meeting schedule. Are you going to talk about that, Sydney?
Sure, through you, Miss Chair, I can speak to that. We're just trying to set a schedule for the remainder of the year. The recommendation from staff was to have meetings at the third Thursday of the year at 2 p.m. And we would just need a mover and seconder for the report. And then if there's any amendments, and then a vote.
Okay. Is there any, is that good?
Yeah.
Yeah, we just, we have our general membership meeting the first Thursday of every month. But we never go, well, unless we have like a speaker or something, we may go to 2 o'clock, depending on what kind of speaker we have.
Okay, it's the third Thursday.
Oh.
Hey,
Okay, does that,
Thursday, not the first.
third,
Thursday.
not the first.
third
And I don't know how the Senior Citizen Center, their volunteer base is hardworking, and I can say a little bit stretched. Do we need 2 members? And I will welcome 2 members from the Thorold Senior Citizen Center too. But do we need 2 members to always attend? Could we have 1 member and the other be an alternate to put some of the to lessen some of the volunteer strain on the center? Is that possible?
We were actually, or can I?
Yeah, Lori?
We were actually talking about that this morning, me and Dave, and Brenda, our president, Brenda Bader, she wants to attend. Today she couldn't. She's working. So we said, Dave and I figured between the 3 of us, we could always have, like, we could have 2 people, between the 3 of us, but we would alternate. But just having 1, if everyone's agreeing with that, then that'll give us a bit more leeway, because Brenda's working, my health, Dave, whatever comes up. We're good. From our part, we're good with representing with 1 person, but we do have potentially interchangeable 2 people.
Okay. Sydney,
For you, Madam Chair, the terms of reference that were approved by council does have 2 members currently. However, if the committee would like to change that, they can make a motion that would then go to council for approval to change it to 1 member.
and does it have to be 1 member, the same member all the time, or could it be a rotating member, as long as it's a member of the executive, or 1 member? Could Could it,
I believe it would be one member. I can double check that and get the answer to you, though. I will confirm with the city clerk.
okay, because it would be nice if it would be like one person designated, but because it affects quorum. This is what the problem, and this is what the problem we had last time. It affects quorum. So if it could be one member and then an alternate that could replace when that person can't attend, that would be ideal for quorum. So can you look into that, Sydney, and let us know if that's possible? And Lori, maybe we'll look at this further and see if just having one person and an alternate might be a little bit easier for you guys. The reason why it's nice to have someone from the executive at one meeting is because we do partner with you on different things, and it's nice to be able to talk to you at the meeting and you can say, yeah, that's a good idea, no, that's not a good idea, the center's not available, etc. We do a lot of partnering with you, so that's why I think it's important for one person to be there. You don't need two, in my mind, but it would be nice if there could be an alternate so that if one couldn't attend, it doesn't affect our quorum. Okay.
Well, we guarantee, we will actually have a minimum of one person
Okay.
available.
Okay, so we'll pursue this further, what the possibilities are. And Cindy, you can talk to Matthew and you can report back to us at the next meeting. Is that okay?
Yes.
So ideally, what we'd like is just one rep and an alternate that could replace that rep, should that person not be available. Okay, you can let us know if that's possible. Okay, is there anything else on that? So that we'll revisit that. Oh, I guess we need sorry, Tim, I apologize.
No problem, Madam Chair. So are we agreed on the third Thursdays for our monthly visit?
Is everybody okay with that? Do you want a motion, Cindy? Okay, is that okay? Anybody object to that date? Okay, then I'll entertain a motion in a second. Oh, sorry, Tim.
And a time, are we going to look at the same time as today's?
Is 2 p.m. okay with everybody? Joey?
I prefer 1 because I have physio at 3, but I'm not to worry.
2 works. Does 2 work? How does Hi, Marilyn, we'll talk to you in a little while. Does anybody want to make any other comments? Leslie?
Why was it changed from 1?
I don't know.
Because that worked for 4 years.
Why did
I like 2 because that means I don't have to set an alarm at all to get up and be at a meeting. However, 1 o'clock worked for everyone. Sometimes it was 10 after 1, but
why did it go from the meeting was originally scheduled for 1 and it changed to 2 for some reason? Was there a reason for that, Sydney? Sorry.
Madam Chair, the reason was just that a member requested to move it until 2 p.m. for today due to a training, I believe.
Okay, so was that whoever that member was, is that an ongoing thing or can it be back to 1?
Madam Chair, I believe it was just for today.
Okay. I'll have to leave my Zumba class early, you guys. But that's fine. I can leave it early.
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock, then let's go back to the original and what
Go
it was
back
set
to
up
1
for to
o'clock?
begin with.
Okay, is that okay? 1 o'clock? Any objections? Because it really affects quorum. We had a couple of meetings that were really tight last time. Okay, so it looks like it's going to be the 3rd Wednesday of the 3rd Thursday of the month at 1 o'clock. So I need a mover in a sec. Oh, A mover and a seconder,
1 o'clock.
Marilyn
Yeah.
and
So this-
Leslie.
Yeah.
Call the question, all in favor? Okay, so that's when it is. So when's the next meeting? Who's got a calendar?
When's the next meeting? You just have the calendar. When is it? March 16th. Okay.
March 16th, Thursday, March 16th, and that'll be in the minutes at March 16th at 1 p.m. Okay, we're gonna do round table, and again, I'm looking for ideas for the next meeting. Marilyn, you can introduce yourself. Tell us why you want to be on the committee and a little bit about yourself, because we already did that with everybody else.
Well, I apologize for being late. I'm not usually that late, but my phone rang at 10 to 1 10 to 2, and I didn't get off in time, but I thought I would show up anyway. I've been on this committee. This is my second go round. I came on partway through the last time. I enjoy it and hope I have something to offer.
You were very good. Okay, round table, I'm gonna go around. I'm gonna go how I see people. Tim, would you like to say anything?
Sure, I really like your idea of having combination events with other groups involved as well. I think we should just focus on that and see what we can come up with. Someone mentioned the Santa Claus Parade. I like that idea. Maybe we could have a booth that gives out hot chocolate or candy canes or something. So that's just in a very brief time that I've been on the committee, but I like the idea of combining with other groups.
Okay, great. And we're looking for ideas, so keep your think about it for the next month. Joey?
As usual, I don't have anything to say.
I like your hair.
I'm glad to have the meeting start up again. I'm also a member of the Joint Accessibility Advisory Committee, and I represent Thorold, but also West Lincoln, Lincoln, Grimsby, Pelham, and Niagara-on-the-Lake. So we'd like to try and get the word out on any accessibility issue in any of those different towns. But we're not starting our first meeting, unfortunately, until the month of March. But we had discussed in our last meeting last term, one of our members is sight impaired, has a guide dog, and often gives little seminars to different, what do you call it? Like anybody but Lions Club, because they're well aware, but he does a fantastic presentation. It's only about 20 minutes long. And I would like to incorporate that when we hopefully start going back to the BIA, because we never did get a meeting with them because of COVID. So I'm hoping this year, rather than next year, that we could approach the BIA again and get something going with them.
Are you talking about sponsoring on Business After 5?
Yes, sorry, yes.
Okay, I'll put the business BIA and Business After 5. We did we sponsored the Business After 5 event that we had one year. We did it with for the BIA. No, it wasn't for the BIA. It was the BOTAC.
Yes.
And we worked with the senior center on that one. Okay, I'm going to put that one on the events thing. And so just so we don't lose that, okay?
Okay.
Again, we'll talk about it when we're finalizing this agenda next week, or this budget next week. Leslie?
I like the idea of partnering and listening to the discussion that Tim brought up. I'm wondering whether it might be handy when we have these discussions, if we had a list of the citizen groups and other groups in Thorold that already exist and are operating, so we know who we could pick to be partners with. Because there's some that have just come back on the scene, like the Friends of the Richmond Street Forest. I'd never heard of them, and they were very active years ago, and they came back out when the frog pond got destroyed, and they had a general meeting, and I was really impressed by them. But when I asked others who do similar things to what I do, they'd never heard of them either, or contact. So there are groups out there that we could bring in that might be valuable. I can put together the list I have if that would be helpful.
Yeah, if you have a list, that would be good. And then we can probably get the rest of them from the website too.
Yeah.
Okay.
And other than that, we're just having the Horticulture Society just had a movie last night, The Gardener. Great movie, documentary. And we'll have our first in-person meeting March 15th. And if anyone's interested in worms and how they can make the amount of compost you put together in your house smaller, we have a presenter that's bringing all the paraphernalia and will give us a talk at the senior center on March 15th at 7:30. That's it.
Okay, next is Lori and Dave.
Okay, I'm just an observer here today, but I'm interested in some of the things that came up, especially the signage, street signage. I've experienced in Georgetown where they have their street signs are twice as big as what ours are. And they even have one before you get to your intersection, letting you know you're getting to your destination. So I'm interested in your policies.
Dave, where is that? Georgetown?
Georgetown, Ontario.
I looked at, maybe we can go on their website and that's great. Thanks for that input, Dave. That's wonderful.
Yeah, thanks.
Lori, anything else?
No, I'm just trying to listen and learn.
Okay. Stephanie? Anything else?
Nothing for me.
Thanks for coming. Marilyn?
No, I'm late enough as it is. Sorry.
Okay. Matthew, do you want to say anything?
Nothing else for me.
Okay, Sydney?
Nothing for me today. Thank you.
Okay, the only thing I want to bring up at the next meeting, and I know you're going to give me 100 reasons why we can't do this, is can we get back to, and I don't want to talk about it this meeting, think about it for the next meeting, and you can list your 100 reasons why we can't do it. I think it's important that at some point we get back to in-person meetings, and I'm going to know what the other municipalities are doing shortly. Social interaction is one of the pillars, and I think that these Zoom meetings do not foster social interaction. And I know you're going to give me a million reasons, Matthew, but we'll wait for those million reasons why next meeting.
Matthew, is that up to the city?
I was actually just going to advise we've got some information going on February 28th and likely a report on March 21st to seek council's direction going forward. We are going to start allowing meetings in person, but at present, just because of the need to have the recordings of these meetings and to live stream them, we're holding all in-person meetings at City Hall and giving everyone the opportunity to meet virtually or to come to City Hall. But I know that there are committees that would prefer to meet elsewhere. So what we have to do is come up with a technological solution to allow us to actually record those meetings at an offsite or different location. So there's a budget piece to that, and there's a council piece to that. So we'll be bringing a report on March 21st to council to get a better assessment of what that looks like, and hopefully have a solution for committees that would like to do so. But for this committee, if you would like to meet in person, we are able to do so, but it would have to be at present for the next meeting here at City Hall.
Okay, Leslie?
So I just, bear with me, Matthew. I know you have the facilities to do Zoom presentations and to copy them, to have them as a result of the meetings of committees. But I don't understand why you can't go to the senior center and use their technology with your Zoom. You have the ability, you've bought into the, so you should be able to go anywhere and take the meeting.
Why don't, okay, what I'm hearing is there's a report coming, so let's wait until the report
I
comes.
just wondered.
Okay? And I'm hearing also that we could have our next meeting in person at City Hall. Did I hear that?
Mhm.
So is there any desire to have the next meeting in person, or do you want to wait for one more meeting until, oh, sorry, Matthew?
Yeah, and I'll just advise that for anybody that can't make it in person, part of the solution that we're looking to find going forward is that all meetings become or have hybrid capability, so that if somebody wants to attend but can't make it in person, they'll still have the ability to join via Zoom. So
Perfect.
currently the council chamber has that ability, which is why we're asking people to come to City Hall. So if there are individuals who would like to do so, we can do that. But if somebody would like to remain virtual, they could do that as well.
And that would be ideal, because sometimes you might not be able to come to City Hall.
Mhm.
That would be ideal, Matthew. Absolutely ideal, in my opinion.
I agree.
So what do you want to do? Do you want to have another virtual meeting and then Matthew figure all of this stuff out? Or do you want to have the next meeting at City Hall, and whoever can't make it, they'll be able to hook you up virtually? Joy?
Maybe we meet virtually next month, and then following that meeting, Matthew will have had the report from council on what they want us to do.
Mhm.
Okay, so we'll have one more meeting virtually, and we'll readdress this at the next meeting. Is that agree? Thank you,
good.
Matthew. That's wonderful news.
Yep.
Okay, and I guess I need a motion to adjourn. Unless somebody else wants to say something else, we're gonna adjourn. Okay, can I have a motion to adjourn? Because oh, sorry, Sydney, I apologize.
Right through you, Madam Chair. We don't need a motion to adjourn anymore. You can just call the meeting adjourned.
Oh, okay. Another new thing. So the
Yeah.
meeting's adjourned unless somebody really wants to say something.
Oh, I have a
Okay.
question.
Oh,
I have a
sorry.
question for
Yeah.
Sydney.
Huh?
Sydney, is there, I'm just thinking about our own meetings here at the senior center. Is there a manual for meetings? Like, Robert's rules for meetings, right? Is that something new added to that? Or where did this whole, you don't have to have a motion to adjourn come from?
Matthew?
I could answer that one. So through the chair, it is essentially part of our procedural bylaw. So for all meetings of council and then the committees of council, they follow through the procedural bylaw. And it's our procedure that once business has been completed and there's no more business on the agenda to be dealt with, the chair can call the meeting adjourned. So there's no need for it. When we don't have a rule set in our procedural bylaw, at that point, we default to Robert's rules for further guidance.
Okay, great, thank you. I'm guessing I can look online and find the procedural bylaw to refer to.
That's correct.
Great, thank you, I'm done.
Okay. Bye, everybody. It was nice to see everybody.